Get started in just a second, guys. What I'm doing here. So if you stumble across this channel, you don't know anything about it, this is a channel focused solely on vintage wrestling collecting, without using the internet or mail order. So the old-fashioned way where you got to go out and find it, or don't have it. So you don't get to cheat and just scour the internet and find everything, and if you have enough money, you get everything. I feel like that's cheating. So that's not what we're going to do here. So that is the only rules to this collection is no internet, no mail order. I think we'd probably give it enough time for anybody to roll on, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. So what's been going on is I've had to I've resituated everything. So it took a long time, and for over a week now, this room has been absolutely destroyed, and I haven't been able to really do any videos or anything really. So I was pretty steady there for a bit with you guys and doing unboxings, and it all fell apart. So I have tons of new stuff to show you. We're going to go over everything in this video. So that's what this video is about. I'm going to show you my collection, and I want to know what you guys want to see. So if you see a section, we're not going to go into detail on the sections, but if you see a section that you want to know more about, let me know. If you have questions about anything, let me know. I don't know what you want to see until you tell me. I know how to collect this stuff. I don't know what you guys want to see though. So this collection has been put together from resale shops. I don't know that I've really ever been to a legitimate toy store before. That would be cool, but my stuff is all like flea markets, resale shops, yard sales, stuff like that, thrift stores. So for the first time in forever, I've got things pretty situated in categories. So I guess we could start from like the oldest stuff and work our way to the newer stuff. So we'll start here. What I got new is so I've decided with my display that I want to show a video game from the time period. Technically, I think these video games are like around 85-ish, but I remember playing them when I had Hasbros as a kid. I wasn't a real rich kid, so I didn't have a bunch of money. So like it was long after everyone else had a Nintendo before I ever got one. So I've kind of correlated with the Hasbros, so I've put it in there. That's a greeting card from like 85 or something, so of the Bushwhackers. Then down here, we've got, up here. I just, the other day, found that one there. The WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. So I have all three of the WWF WrestleManias from Nintendo. The cool thing is, the first one, WrestleMania, is from Acclaim. But if you look, the WrestleMania Challenge and the WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge are both by also by LJN, which is kind of weird. I've never noticed that or knew that. So it's kind of a little thing I want to do, is try to have a video game for that time period. I think that would be cool for the display. So what we got here is, these would be the two oldest figures that are in this collection. Would be the two, oh no, AWA figures, the fabulous ones. So there's that one there, and then the one, so it's Steve Kern, and I can't even remember the other guy. But those are the only two AWA figures. Those are Remco's. I just recently found this thumb wrestler of Junkyard Dog. Yeah, and haven't, I guess the newest one for my LJNs is probably the, it's got to be the Mean Gene. So the Mean Gene is the most recent. I've got a couple Hillbilly Jims, a couple Big John Studs, a couple Tito's. There's the big JYD through the glass over. You can see Junkyard Dog, and then David Boy Smith. I have a couple Andres. Oh, and I also, do I have two? No, I don't. I thought I had two Jimmy Snukas, but I only have the one. So that's basically where my collecting started. Is I found a Hasbro. So what we're doing here, if you see something that you want me to do videos on, whatever category it is, I am really into what we're getting ready to get into, which is Jakks Pacific. But I'm down with doing anything, like the LJNs, AWAs. I don't have a bunch of AWAs though. But my first figure I think I ever found was, actually it's not that one, it's this one over here. See that Hogan figure through there? It's actually got a broken finger. So I was really bummed about that. But that's the first one I found. I think I got it for like $2. And then I found this one, which is like a mail off. It's a mail away. If you notice, his trunks are a different color. But it's a mail away for a movie where you got a free figure. But yeah, that's what started it. I found one Hasbro, and then I found another Hasbro, and then 3 years later, this room is what it is. So I'm going to try to see some comments. I'm sorry if I can't really see them. Got any Road Warriors? Oh, shoot. Actually, let me think. Wow, you know what? I think I only have one Road Warrior figure. I don't have the other. Here, I'll go straight to it for you. I need to clean all this glass. So, you see the animal there? So these are Bone Crunchers. These, I didn't even know I would be into. I started collecting them. And then I really got into just, there's just so many. There's so many, and it gets crazy after a while. Trying to see some comments. Can you show Jimmy Fly? It's Superfly? Yeah. Sorry. There's the Superfly. My bad. Probably didn't pan over far enough. I can't really see it, so it's actually really, really good condition. It's almost perfect, which is unreal. There's a Superfly Hasbro. But yeah, I found it at a flea market for, I think, $5, which I do believe it's pretty rare. What's up, Anton? Sorry, I'm trying to steady it, but I'm probably making it shake more. That's Mike. Hegstrand. Sweet. Okay. So the cool thing about this is I have tons of bone crunchers. So you see them mashed in there. There's these, which these 5 in the front are actually different. All these you could bend the arms and make them, they would make a snapping noise with the knees and or the legs and the arms, and that's why they were called bone crunchers. Well, these here had a new feature where you turn the head and it makes a bone crunching noise. So these are the very last bone crunchers they came out with, is these here, and they're actually taller, a little bit bigger. So they kind of messed up on that, but all right. So let's jump up. Once again, I told you I want to have a game for the era. So Bone Crunchers would probably be, actually I'm going to check for a Super Nintendo game, but I think the time period's about right. It's like 95, 96. If I can find a Super Nintendo game, what I'll probably do here is put the Super Nintendo game up top with the Hasbros and move those regular Nintendo games down to the LJNs, so they're like with the time periods. But I just, if you're new here, and or if anybody that's been here and seen my stuff, I used to have them displayed so it looked like Ultimate Warrior and Hogan were holding the 2 games in the air. I had them suspended and it looked like they were lifting them, but it was really hard to display, kind of messed up after a while. So these are some very rare bone crunchers, and like I said, the War Zone Nintendo 64 game. But yeah, those are some of my absolute favorite bone crunchers. So after bone crunchers, well, here's some more bone crunchers. Those are Signature Series up there with some vintage VHS tapes behind them. So then you have the women figures back behind it, a couple Sables. There's Sunny. Jacqueline is a Signature Series. And then you get down here and you got Slammers. They had a little attachment. They look like bone crunchers, but they have hard plastic arms, and they had a little button on them so you could do an action. So those are my Slammers. So we'll shoot all the way down to the bottom, I guess, and then we'll jump it over and do some WCW stuff. So here is Titantron Live. So some of you may be curious, what is Titantron Live? Well, these figures here have a thing on them. I'll show you. Let's see if I can do it without knocking everything off. So each figure has a little plastic things on the bottom, and what you would do, and none of the with these figures, they're a little taller. They have more articulation, which is kind of cool. The face scans are a little more realistic. The deco's way better, and you know, they're supposed to be able to take them to this device here, which is called the Titantron Live. There's the box that it came out of, well, the back of the box. So this is the Titantron Live, and you see that little spot there in the entrance. You would step them onto that, and the magnets would make it so it would play their music. So there's a bunch of Men on Card bone crunchers. some Radical Rides. Down here is a really, really rare Austin figure with a drag car, that Attitude Racing. It's got a little bitty miniature Austin figure, which is really rare. There's a Havoc Unleashed Batista. Here's some more Havoc Unleashed figures. And a couple Ripped and Ruthless on the ends. Some drag cars. A Legend mint on card. Another Superfly, Jimmy Snuka. Legend on card there. Let's jump all the way up. So in between Bone Crunchers, in between Bone Crunchers and Hasbro's was these, which are the Bendies. Then you get into some weird stuff. There's some Unmatched Fury. These are Maximum Sweat. Oh shoot, hang on, I can't. This stand is way too heavy to be doing that. Let me try to make this better. I'm sorry. Okay, this has to be better. Much better. Okay. So, what you have here, I'll show you the Bendies a little better. This Undertaker and this Rock figure are both Maximum Sweat. So they did come out with a belt. That's it there. It's actually it's an Austin Smoking Skull belt. But when you played with them, they sweat, which is disgusting and gross. So I don't understand why they would make that. But they thought kids wanted their stuff to sweat. Kind of interesting. That Mankind is from the Legends, just like that Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Then you get over into this, which is something I just recently did an entire video on. I showed you my entire collection of Ruthless Aggression figures and how much they're worth and like what the carding look like. There's a Ring Giant there, a couple men on card Titantron WrestleManias, some more Ruthless, another Ring Giant, Triple H. There's Superstars Black Classics. You got some Stomp figures. You got a men on card 1 of 5,000 Sable Stomp figure. Fatal 4 Bubba, another Ring Giant. That's the Series 1 Brett. You got a couple Attitude Bears. That one's the Rock and one's Mankind, I think, back there. There's a Flexum RVD, and then you got these, which are kind of cool. Let me see, make sure I'm getting this right. Yeah. All right, so you got the Austin Room Alarm and the Austin Walkie-Talkie. Back behind them is probably the most realistic original Undertaker in purple statue I've ever seen. A die-cast Sable car, 1/24 scale it says. And then you got the ECW guys, some men on card ECWs. And then here's the WCW stuff starts, and it gets kind of wild. So we'll go across the front here. There's a Jakks Pacific big gold belt, an ECW, WWE ECW, another big gold belt, but the silver version. There is a something Banging Buddies or something. I don't even know. Something from Jakks. That's a coin purse of The Rock. This thing here. We'll start there. See that pennant back here? NWO. But this thing here is a Sting plush or something from 98 or something, like 99. Then you got WCW Slamboree VHS. here is a couple of the Nitro street rods. That thing there is really rare. It's a miniature WCW ring with a cage and all kinds of stuff inside of it. It just looks like a belt. That Sting doll I think is kind of rare. There's a Sting baseball. There's War Games, Headbanger, Bret Hart. You got the original San Francisco Toymakers Big Rubber Guy, Sting, Giant, and Ric Flair back there. You got the War Games. You got the little bendy Sting with the NWO belt, which always gets lost. Did we get everything? No, okay, so Rick back there has a Sting thumb wrestler. There's a on-card Bruisers Sting. There's a plush Hollywood Hulk Hogan, which is, I don't know much about it. The original bendy WCW Sting. Starcade, men on card. So Starcade and War Games are still mint. They're still plastic, in the plastic, so kind of cool. We'll hit these real quick, just so, since we're here. So you got skull caps. I think I'm missing one set of skull caps. There's a men on card Nitro street rods. There's that Headbanger, Brett Loose. This is 1-800-WCW card, like a MasterCard. That mini Big Show. You got the games, like I was saying before. There's a WCW versus NWO World Tour, WCW NWO Revenge. That's a Steel Slammers Macho. That thing is solid, like metal. It is so heavy. It's so little and so heavy. It's kind of crazy. So that bag, trading cards. A lot of trading cards. So we're going to get down into this, which is not lit well at all. So let me grab a light. It should only take a second. There we go. Shed a little light onto this. So this is your original San Francisco Toymakers 6-inch. That's a rare Hogan back here. There's the original Hogan. They all have a weird button on the back of them that makes it do an action. They're hard plastic. There's one men on card. I always try to get a men on card version of stuff if I can. There's a couple belts I didn't show you. And a Brawler's Balls Macho Man. So, yeah, there's that. Got the belt. Then you get down here into Galoobs. So, that's all the Galoobs I have. Still collecting them. Then you get the 3.5-inch WCW original San Francisco Toymakers, which are more articulated than these, but smaller. So, you see them along the very back. There's a men on card Goldberg. There's the Hogan with the belt. And then a few more over there. If you notice, in front of both of those is the ring poles, ring posts and ropes from the original San Francisco Toymakers ring. I don't know how the guy sold the post, but not the ring, but he didn't have the ring. I bought the post though. So these are cool. Or I don't know about cool. I should probably take that back. They're definitely not cool. They're vibrating. So these are the vibrating WCW figures. They were definitely interesting. Also with the belt. What's cool, there's that pennant that we looked at just a second ago. I thought it was a knockoff because it's not licensed by WCW, and then I found it in a WCW magazine. So then you got a couple of the WCW Ring Giant versions that there's 2 DDPs. I don't know why I have 2 DDPs, but it's just what I found. So then down here you got a bunch of vintage mags there. a Ray mask, a calendar with Sonny, and there's a TLC ring. There's a bunch of vintage movies inside that movie box, but you have the grip and flips from WCW there and over to there. You got a Attitude ring, and then here's just a bunch of the Heat figures men on card, which are basically Titantrons, and then you get the Titantron figures. Then there's a couple Signature Series Bone Crunchers. There's the Bone Crunchers again. There's that display. It's also got a Jakks Pacific belt in front of it. So then, I'm trying to get through it. So I didn't show you before. I don't think I showed you. These are erasers. The little figures there of Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. Those are erasers. Those are The Rock and Big Show. You got some bobbleheads. There's some vintage VHS. A couple of those are still, like the WrestleMania, still in the plastic. I don't even know anymore. There's a watch I found, a WWE watch. Then you got the muscles from Mattel, and then we're getting into a lot of Mattel stuff. There's some more vintage VHS. Again, the 2008 PlayStation 2 game, SmackDown vs. Raw, and then the 2008 version. So I figure that covers these figures. I don't want to collect anything newer. So you have some Legends there, some Rumblers down below it, the Rumbler ring, and then just more. There's the new Bendies, just a bunch of Legends, more Legends, a like 12-inch Rock still on card, Cena. There's the Ray and Finn Balor too. These are modern Mattels. I started collecting these because the guys on the channel said they, or I guess guys and girls, said they wanted that, so I just started collecting those, just so it was some stuff you guys knew and enjoyed. So that's my collection of those I've put together. Here's my Superstars collection with the WrestleMania ring. Love that Papa Shango figure. There's a retro figure in there, and a I guess is that He-Man, or I don't even know, what is it called? Masters of the Universe or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, Masters of the Universe. Yeah, Roddy Piper. And these are just well, these here are these. So there's a Elite Orton up underneath there. I actually have WWE lighters. There's an Elite, or it's not Elite, but what are these called? Ultimate. That's an Ultimate Mr. T. That's a really, really detailed Hogan statue from Championship. I found this sign. I don't even know where, but a little 10 sign. There's a Men on Card Rock Elite. There's the Men on Card Elite Austin when he was Hollywood Blondes. There's the old Rambo figure. We opened this box set on the channel. This is all the posters I've taken down and stuff I've taken down. What we got up underneath it? Oh, up underneath it is SummerSlam 90 VHS. Yeah, there's the United States title, NXT title. This is the Hell in a Cell, which we actually opened on the channel here. An old Hogan calendar from, I think, 85 or something like that. So then you got a couple vintage posters, a couple vintage movies, vintage cards. You got TNA figures, which I really like, which are very, very underrated. They're so articulated, and they're such good figures. And then here's when Jakks started making their figures, and they went back to the hard plastic, no articulation kind of stuff, which is weird. But yeah, a couple rings. Here's where it gets wild. So Hogan, now back across the back there are stretch wrestlers that are knockoff. There's the whole set, and one of them, I swear, is supposed to be Hulk Hogan. Then you have, we opened this box set with Kiss and Dude Love, which is a knockoff. This is from Figures Toy Company. We opened this Lucha statues here, the little mini statues. We opened that on the channel. There's a Jake the Snake bike license plate, a Randy Orton dog tag, Kamala. This ref's kind of cool. You squeeze his legs. I gotta change the battery again. But you squeeze his legs together and he counts and says stuff, and it's pretty wild. Alright, so knockoff wrestling area. I need a knockoff, which I don't think that's a knockoff. I think it's a Lucha Libre game. It's called Tag Team Wrestling by Data East. Nintendo game. Really cool. That's Sean. Bear is, I think, actually rare. Just really weird and ugly. There's a couple of the Power Slammers. The ring. A couple more of those cards. A very old New Japan Pro Wrestling figure with the card. Wrestling Buddy of Sting. Wrestling Buddy of Ray. And then we get into some more knockoff stuff back in there. That's all knockoff stuff. I ain't going to go over it too much. It's a knockoff thumb wrestler. Digital statues here and the knockoffs behind them. WrestleMania 2009 calendar. These stuff still in package, never been opened. The PWI Super Cards from 2002. And then I even have these rare stickers. That there's 2 stickers in each pack. There's a Mankind one and a Rock. Which is weird because the Kane one comes with a cane and a cane. So it's weird to see that the Rock, I guess this is maybe the Rock and Sock edition. I don't know. So, yeah. Well, now you have basically looked over my entire collection. There's stuff put back, other little things that you didn't see, but you've seen 95% of it. Now all you got to do is go into the comment section and let me know what it is here that you would like for me to do videos on, or we'll do a live feed. That way you can ask all the questions you want, and we can get this channel kicking along here, because I'm so happy to have this room put back together, because for a week it gave me full anxiety. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.